What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel, and check out the content. Um, with that being said, man, I want to get right into like Puff Daddy because I mean, like for me, this is a interesting, um, really a interesting situation here with Puff Daddy, and I think like there's a lot of lessons that could be learned here. His story almost reminds me of a movie that was out like Trading Places, right? Like back in 1983, Trading Places came out with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy played a character named Billy Ray Valentine. He was like a street hustler, and these two rich white guys made a bet with each other. They were brothers, and so they made a bet with each other that they can take a poor guy, I mean, somebody from impoverished situation, and put them in a, in a rich situation, in an affluent environment, and they would flourish just like the person that, like people who were already there. And so I thought about Puff Daddy, you know what I mean, when I watched this movie, because that kind of was his situation, right? Like he was put in a situation, he was chosen to be the like to have the amount of success and amount of power and stuff that he had. He was chosen for that. I definitely believe he was chosen for that. I don't think that, like it's just all about hard work and you get there. These kind of people are handpicked. And so just like Billy Ray Valentine's, Puff Daddy got to that place. He got the power and he got the influence, and he changed this image, and he grew up, and he grew in the industry, and he started to like to be where he was. And only thing with Puff Daddy, he started to really he took that opportunity to really do, to really abuse people and take advantage of people, right? Whereas though Billy Ray Valentine didn't do that. But another thing I want to say about that is when those two rich guys got tired of Billy Ray Valentine, they decided that they was going to send Billy Ray Valentine back to his original environment. And so that's where I think like people have to be mindful of like of when you get opportunities, and when you have you come into fortune like what Puff Daddy came into, you have to be mindful of how you treat people, because the people who put you in power can use your downfalls. They can use the chinks in your armor to bring you back down without any excuse. You know what I mean? They could bring you down and just say that, it was your fault. And which it is, because, they say it was your fault. Your downfall is your fault. But from the very beginning, in my opinion, from the very beginning, it was all a game. It was all a delusion. And if Puff Daddy had surrounded himself with people who didn't allow him to be delusional, you know what I mean? Like, because Puff Daddy, just like a lot of other people, I just made a video about LeBron James, and he, like, in the ways that he is delusional, because fame and success, um, it brings that on. It makes you delusional. You surround yourself with people who tell you're the best thing since sliced bread. People tell you're a musical genius. People who don't want to tell you no. It's yes for everything. And so when you start to believe in all of that hype, and that's when the delusions sit in. You know what I mean? Because you are detached from like the everyday struggles, and you start to indulge in things that, like things and situations that you never even had access to before you was put into this situation. As far as like materialism, hedonism, and all of that stuff. And then the thing I want to say about materialism and hedonism is like, just because you have access, and just because you have the power to do certain things, it don't mean that you should do it. And that's right now. It's like what Puff Daddy is finding out. He had access to a lot of things, and he had, and we could see like from all of the people talk about the freak offs and stuff like that. Like a lot of rich and powerful and wealthy men would not, they had the power to do that, but that don't mean that they're going to set up these big elaborate sex parties and orgies and stuff, like, even if everything was consensual, because there's a downside to that. There's so much stuff that can go wrong when you live in excess like that. And that is part of, that's part of the way that, that he's being brought down, like I said, by the chinks in his armor, by some of the poor decisions that he's made, and the people that he surrounded himself with, just, wouldn't tell him, just wouldn't tell him anything other than what he really wanted to hear. And so you could tell by just looking at Puff Daddy over the years, you could see like a change, like he had a different look about him. He don't look as healthy as he used to look. His skin is darker, his eyes are red, and that comes from living in excess. And like I said, you don't have to be of Puff Daddy's stature or his wealth, or you don't have to have his fame in order to live a life in excess. And so that's a lesson that people can learn. No matter how much money you have, or matter how much how famous you are, you still have to do the basic things like take care of yourself. When Puff Daddy first started in the music industry, they said he didn't drink or smoke. Now you have allegations of well, they definitely know he drank and smoked, but now you have people alleging that he even go even further than that, like as far as like getting, he have a substance abuse problem, some people would say. And so that also comes from living in excess, and it also comes from being delusional when you have like certain like I would say like mental health struggles, right? Because when you had those kind of struggles, you had your pressure because you want to maintain that lifestyle, and that's probably a lot of pressure on him. And for him to maintain that lifestyle, and then he started to do some things, and all of these allegations are alluding to that, like as far as like trafficking, right? He have allegations of trafficking because he's not making music the way he was. He's losing sponsors and stuff like that. His clothing line wasn't selling like that, and that's a lot of pressure on somebody who is a billionaire to maintain that status. Because even though you're a billionaire, you have houses, you have employees, you have, it's a lot of upkeep that goes into that, and that could be a lot of pressure, a lot more pressure than what average person like myself or most of us, a lot more pressure than what we would know. Somebody working a 9 to 5, we wouldn't know those kind of pressures. And so all of that pressure, not making excuses for what he did to people, but I'm just saying, the point of this video is just to point out like how along the way, how he just lost himself, and he just got off track. He was, like I said, he lived a delusional type lifestyle. And now that the powers that be are really, tired of him, because, and I say that because he had a 30-year run, right? And no way, he could have had a 30-year run. No criminal I know, doing whatever, had a 30-year run. You might get a few months on a run, or a few years, a couple years a run, but a 30-year run suggests to me that he had people, he had people who were backing him, people who was shielding him from repercussions of his actions. And now that he don't have those same people shielding him, now you're seeing the results of what happens when you fall out of grace with certain people. But yeah, his story just reminds me of like I say, Billy Ray Valentine, and And once these people, you know, who put you in power, once they feel like, you know, they're done with you, and because it's all a game to them, they know that they're not going anywhere. They know that they're not threatened, and we're gonna find that out. Like even if Puff Daddy makes it to trial, we'll find out. Like everybody want Puff Daddy to be able to snitch on certain people or snitch on people that are higher up or above him. But I can guarantee you that's not going to happen, you know, and because you know, like they don't want it. And you know, like they're gonna make it seem like Puff Daddy was the big fish. He was a somebody who was rogue, and you know, I don't care what tapes come out or what names come out. You know, all of this is going to fall on Puff Daddy and maybe a few people under him, but he the big fish. You know, if they'd have wanted somebody higher than Puff Daddy, they would have got them first and then brought Puff Daddy in, you know, after. But you know, he's the big fish. He's the one that they tired of. He the one that they want out the way. And so that's my take on it on the situation with Puff Daddy. Oh, also, what I'm going to say, he just got denied again for bail, right? This is like the third time, so it looks like Puff Daddy gonna have to stay in prison until May the 25th of 2025. That's like when the trial starts. So he'll be in prison at least up until May the 25th of 2025. And yeah, man, I don't know, but let me know, do you think my analogy to like Billy Ray Valentine, if that, you know, if that's on base, or you don't think it ties in with Puff Daddy's situation? With that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also leave a comment, and I'll see you all on the next video. Peace.